Hi.
Hey,
Today I'm asking the question, should women be playing hard to get? What do you think?
what you mean, like in a relationship or
Yeah,
before?
before, yeah, when you like someone and you want to get together or you want to get to know them, should women play hard to get? For example, for me specifically, it's not my style. Playing hard to
That's what I
get.
liked about you. That's what I liked about you. You definitely weren't playing easy to get. I give you that, but you weren't being silly about it in
Yeah,
how you were.
yeah. I would say, yeah, I guess you shouldn't be too easy. Like, an example that comes to mind
Sorry.
An example that comes to mind is like, for example, you'd ask me out, and I would say something like, "Oh, I've been waiting for this for 2 months. I never thought you're gonna, ask me. I'm so excited, and I couldn't think of anything else. You're the perfect person." And then you kind of, stifle them straight
That's the
away.
opposite, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably easy to get,
Or being
but
needy. Yeah.
yeah. But I would say if hard to get is just to me a bit childish. It just sounds like something that a teenager would do, or somebody who doesn't know what they want and just kind of causes trouble. And then also, you kind of wasting people's time, and many people would say, and I know you're that kind of person, you're gonna just move on, aren't you?
Well, I think there's a balance. You see, I can kind of see the psychology behind it,
Yeah.
and if it's done right, if it's done in the correct way, then I think it can be a healthy thing for a relationship, at least in the very beginning.
Okay.
Let me explain. I'm not someone who played hard to get. With you, I think when we got together, we were very, very fortunate in our characters, in the way we were. We just get on, and we just got on with it,
Yeah.
together. But I think the psychology behind playing hard to get comes from, okay, say you've got an item, and the rarer it's perceived to be, or the more in demand it's perceived to be, then the more somebody will want that. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? So I think that's where the psychology comes from. So if you've got a lady and you've got a man, and the man's really into that lady, and then she just lets it all out. She's like, oh yeah, I'm really into you too on the first day. Let's
Have children.
let's have children. Let's get married. That can kind of scare him off.
Okay.
But if she can still be thinking all that, if she really likes that man and she's thinking all that stuff, I think from a game perspective, it's better to play the game and be a bit more reserved. Okay, so maybe when he texts that lady, then if she texts back straight away, once or twice is fine. But if she texts, okay, and it also depends on him as well, because if he's the sort of person that is completely different to myself, if he's the sort of person that is used to having ladies come to him all the time, right, and is used to being the sort of man that ladies would throw themselves at his feet and whatnot,
Yeah.
then I think in that situation that girl wouldn't be so bad, or wouldn't be so wrong in playing that game a little bit. I know it's terrible, but that's the way the world works. That's the way it works. And if she plays the game a little bit by not texting back straight away, then, for example, then that will show him that she isn't necessarily like all the other girls that he's used to having. And then maybe in the long run, he will treat her with a bit more reverence, or a bit more appreciation.
Okay.
The same way you would appreciate an item when you buy from the shop that's a special edition, because not many people have got it. If you go to a shop and you buy an inflatable football, for example, that anyone can buy for like £1.50, then you're not going to appreciate it, are you? So that's the psychology I'm thinking that it's coming from. I'm sensing you disagreeing with that
No,
face.
it's a very specific case, and I don't know, but I would say that it doesn't apply to the majority of men, from my impression. Yeah, and I'll think somebody is quite childish if they kind of look at you in that way, because I'll be thinking that eventually, even if you put yourself out there in drips and drops, and you don't let everything out, which I think is okay and it's normal. I think there'll come a point when you get them bored, because you will have to at some point stop playing.
That's where I say it has to be done in moderation, and it has to be done properly. You using the word childish, I think that bangs the nail on the head when it's done. I've seen many girls
Just
do
for
it
the sake of it.
just for the sake of it. You know what I mean? just for the sake of it, I think it's wrong, you know, to try and prove something. I think when I see women do that, or even men do that, who do it just for the sake of it, I think to myself that they've got mental problems or they've got self-esteem issues or whatnot. But like I said, unfortunately, because of the way it works, I think it can be done in moderation to get a healthy start to a relationship.
Yeah.
And like you say, I think it's childish. You and I would never have gotten from the beginning if I sensed that you were doing it on purpose.
Yeah, but in the same way, in a way, you didn't invite me for a date straight away. You know, you came to where I worked a few times, and you took your time, so the interest was building up. But it has to be. It really has to be a balance.
See, even then, you said that I came to your workplace a few times to visit you and stuff. That now, from some perspectives, that could have been seen as playing a game, yeah. Because I didn't come there straight away, and I didn't say what's your number on the first day, or I didn't, tell you I thought you're beautiful and stuff.
I know. Actually, saying that, sorry to interrupt you, but I have not to sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet. I'm sure it happens to a lot of people that work in supermarkets, but I have had a lot of men coming to my checkout and literally giving me their number on a piece of receipt. Some of them like throwing it, like this, and all I'll do is literally I'll put it underneath the bin, the bin underneath the checkout, because that's not like, I haven't even spoken to you, I don't know your name, I don't know anything about you. I'm not just gonna call you just like that.
so on that, if I had done that, then we probably wouldn't have.
Probably not. Yeah.
Been where we are today.
Yeah, I'll think that you're just crazy and maybe a bit desperate. And
so even though I wasn't playing the game on purpose, there was still that element there of a little bit of suspense, a little bit of holding something back, dribbling it. So yeah, it's all in moderation. That's my opinion. So I think it's okay to play hard to get if it's done tastefully. Yeah. And it's done. Because the person will get bored after a while as well. Yeah. If you're constantly playing these games, people will get bored.
They'll move on. They'll be like, you're not the only woman in the world.
Precisely.
When you said earlier about when you were giving an example, and I was thinking when something is precious and valuable, I don't know how related this is, but I was thinking like with actors, sometimes you watch them on TV and you think to yourself, oh, they're very good looking, but then you listen to them, which is, I guess, in your case would be going and talking to them, and they're not what you imagine, so that value really decreases.
That's true. I've often thought that about going off now, about like Leonardo DiCaprio, for example. I've watched many of his films from when I was young, and he doesn't give many interviews on TV. You don't really see him giving many interviews, or he's not that much. You see him like on the red carpet with the cameras flashing and stuff, or you'll see him on some yacht somewhere, but you never really hear him speaking too much unless you do a proper search for him. Right. So I think that adds more to his like mystery and adds more to his value as an important person. Yeah. I like Eminem as well. He does more these days, but in his earlier days, he never really did many interviews, or you never really saw much of him. It was like a bit of an enigma. So that kind of added more to his value, if you want to give it that.
Yeah, mysteriousness is, I guess, because you kind of create an image about someone, liking them or not in different ways, and you hope that they'll be as close to this image or as possible, and then it's not, and you kind of get disappointed, which is, again, your own fault that you've created a fake image. Yeah. But you just, you can't help it. Part of human psychology, hey?
I'd say so. So what do you guys think? Should people play hard to get or not? Or in moderation?
Comments below. See you next time.